And college athletes everywhere rejoice. Your school can now pay you cash. Student athletes, we can debate the order later. Athletes, students, yeah, maybe there's a shakeup happening there.
Employee, I don't know.
Employee, independent contractor, I don't know. We can debate it. All I know is the courts, the judges, the billable hours have all led to it's finally official. Schools no longer have to sweep it under the table. They can pay their players straight up. The money is capped as far as revenue share, right? So the money that the schools can pay the players is capped. There is a whole other can of worms with the additional potential endorsements and NIL money that players are still allowed to earn. Because they're going to try to. This is all about effort here because I don't think they're going to be able to do it. But they're going to try to make it so all endorsement deals are market value. So there's no players out there, right? This was the old, I think it was Rhett Bomar, the quarterback of Oklahoma, who was like working one hour a week at a car dealership and was getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're going to try to limit that. So it's not like, hey, I signed four autographs and showed up at an event for a couple of high rollers, and look at that, I made $600,000. There's gonna be a third party system that is supposedly approving all of those deals, but we made a big step. We made a big step because my question is, and this is what I think most of our questions lead to. This is where we all want to be. When will paying college athletes be so normalized that we can get back to talking about sports? When will it become so blasé, so how it is, so just the way that they do things, that it's no longer an argument about how it once was, how it should be. It's no longer an argument about the players don't care anymore. All they care is the money. And we can actually get back to, hey, this team, their offensive line is good. Rather than, did you hear this team spent $4 million on just their offensive line? I just want to talk about the football or basketball. Or, they look how much size they brought in the offseason. Yeah, it's 3 of the top 5 bigs in the portal. That's going to cost you a pretty penny. I just want to talk about the sports. What are we looking at, 5 years? Now that it's legal, teams will be paying 10 years till it's – I mean, nobody complains that professional athletes get paid. How long did that take? The answer is, and I believe this is an accurate answer, when all the loopholes are fixed and closed. That is when we can all move on and we can all take it as, all right, we're all operating under the same rules. Every school is doing the same thing. Sure, some budgets are more, but it's within these parameters when all the loopholes are fixed. And I think one of them is going to be Deloitte is the third party that's being tasked with approving all major NIL deals that are not coming from the school?
Yeah, so it is the College Sports Commission, which is also formed from this as well, is going to use Deloitte, which I guess is some sort of accounting company or something along those lines.
Yep.
But it's anything over $600 that's not coming directly from the school or the school collective.
That's not within that cap.
Yeah.
So that's not being accounted for from the school paying the players. If it's coming from a car dealership, if it's coming from a shoe sponsorship, like we saw Cooper Flag with New Balance, if it's anything like that, you're going to have to put those through this third committee. What is it called? The Commission on College.
The College Sports Commission.
There you go. Which is, like you said, kind of powered by Deloitte.
I don't know how long that's going to last, to be honest, because the way I look at it is like fair market value. It's like, well, this is so new. What is considered fair market value? To me, the value is whatever someone's willing to pay me. If someone wants to pay me $1 million to go do something, that's my value.
I think their argument is you have to. They might have to prove how much their business benefits from it. Like, hey, we spent $500,000 on this player. We expect sales to go up by $600,000. I don't know. What the problem I have with it is fair market value isn't fair competitively.
Yeah. Like, how do you determine this?
How do you determine it is a great question, but also, fair market does it just mean more in the South? Or actually, we'll go right here. College basketball where we live, and I've lived all over the country. I think I totaled it up a couple weeks ago. I think it's 9 states. I'll tell you right now, college basketball here, it just means more. Okay?
It means more.
There you darn right it does. A starting point guard on one of the college basketball teams in North Carolina goes to Applebee's to sign autographs, more people will show up than in other parts of the country. I promise you. So is there fair market? So they show up at Applebee's. I'm just picking Applebee's. I don't know why that's the one. Some restaurant to sign autographs, and they bring a certain amount of people, and all this money comes in. So, all right, you're allowed to pay them $10,000 to that, picking round numbers. Somewhere else in the country, there's a school that's supposed to compete with the basketball schools here in this part of the country. They send a player to Applebee's, and 15 people show up. They try to get paid $10,000. Deloitte comes in. You didn't get $10,000 worth of value. They're going, they did the same thing. They're in the same league. They put in the same work. Why can they get paid more than the other? That's not fair competitively, even if it might be fair market value. And I don't see how you make those rules. It's not like the Dallas Cowboys quarterback is allowed to make more off the field for the same act than the Panthers quarterback. Mm-hmm. So that's one loophole. The other loophole is the way that they're accounting this, meaning the revenue share is the limit, right? So there's going to be essentially a salary cap. It's without getting too confusing, it's expected to be a little north of $20 million.
20.5.
That goes towards the entire athletics program. There's a certain percentage, around 75%, that can go to one sport. Excuse me. So 20.5, roughly 75% of that for most schools can go to football. Everything else has to be divided up, and there's women's sports requirements. There's a bunch of other creative lingo.
It'd be roughly around $15 million for football, if that's the way you want to go with it.
Per year.
Per year, yeah.
Which is fascinating because school like Alabama, right, just because we always use Alabama as like the bloated, just engorging themselves example. They're going to have enough money from the school plus NIL to fund a top-level team every single year. If you are I don't want to say mid-major, like a mid-Power 5 team, where your school is committing $15 million to football every year. So you're maxing out what you're allowed to give in revenue share to the football team every year. But you maybe don't have all that NIL support, all of that outside approved by Deloitte support. You could, theoretically, pay out all of your 2025 money on December 28th for next season's football year, and then pay out all of your 2026 money before football season starts, the 2026 season, and pay 1 year's roster $30 million because you're getting 2 years full $15 million, which could potentially lead to some schools basically trying to compete every other year. Some schools basically saying, and I doubt they'd go 0 and 100%, but they might go, let's play 25% this year and 75% next year, and then 25% and 75%, and do that over and over again, which just creates a really weird competitive schedule. Oh, guess what? How excited are we? We caught Boston College on our schedule when they're paying nobody. Our rival's playing them next year. They're paying twice as much. So there are loopholes. And by the way, I'm being one of my biggest pet peeves right now. I'm all problems, no solutions. These are issues that will pop up. I guarantee you, and more that I don't see coming. I don't pretend to be, the most knowledgeable lawyer that has read through all the legalese. Like there's going to be other loopholes that are exposed. Once they have most, if not all of those closed, then give it 3 or 4 or 5 years. Then we're going to get to where it's normal. Until then, it's still going to be weird. There's still going to be, difficulties in explaining it. There's still going to be teams that maybe push the line and go ahead and win a bunch, and teams that are afraid to push the line and they get past. And I still don't know what kind of enforcement there is.
Yeah, they'll still find loopholes.
I don't know what the punishment is if you break some of these rules.
Yeah. Well, like for example, here might be a loophole right here. I think I just found one, Tim.
I love it.
So you have, for example, you have to report any outside NIL deal that's worth over $600, right? Who says like don't do a $600 deal every day? One deal, $600 for today.
Yep.
$600 for today. Guess what? I don't have to report that.
Or
like who says a business can't do that?
I mean, we're just spitballing now, just trying to break rules. A collective has what, 10,000 donors, 10,000 people. I didn't do one deal with the collective. I did $10,600 deals with each of the members of the collective.
Exactly.
Those don't have to go through Deloitte. It's. I don't pretend to think that this isn't a step in the right direction. Players should get paid. Schools should be allowed to pay them. I think there's going to be a lot of messy before we get smooth with this one.